Question of the day, what is an underutilized theme? Now, there are a lot of themes out there we see used over and over and over again. Cthulhu, zombies, Vikings, all that sort of stuff, right? But what's a theme when it comes to a Euro game that you don't see that often? It'd be like fishing, oystering, any of that stuff. Because today we're talking about cartography. No, not that game. That's a good game too, rolling right with creatures and all that. This is cartography in the sense that you're making a map of a place called Misterra. As we look at Maps of Misterra right now.
All right, this is Maps of Misterra. You're going to pick a player color with a player guide here with the sextant on the front side for the advanced mode and without it for the basic mode. The only difference is it adds a scoring for rows and columns. Now, what's going to happen is on your turn, you're going to move. Now, our board is complete. This would normally not be like this. In fact, normally all these would be gone, but I'm going to leave a few out here just to kind of show you what's going on. So pretend the rest of the board is empty. You will start here at the edge. You're going to make your first move onto one of these places on the board. Now, you're going to move, and then you're going to place what's known as a map tile by, you can either map or you can claim. Now, we've claimed some places already, and we'll talk about that later. You're going to take one of the cards that is over there. Now, you're not going to put it on the main board. You're going to put it onto your map board. So let's just say we want this based on our personal player goals to be trees here and then mountains. So we would put this on our board just like this. Then you would take the tokens to match that for those spaces hazy side up because they're not confirmed. Once they're flipped over to their confirmed side, they can't be moved. Now let's just say someone else moves here and chooses to, well, you couldn't do it on there, so let's just say they move there. Liar! And they're gonna choose to make this. Now I think this is actually a step like this. Well, then this would come off the board and this would go onto the board following this one. Now let's just say you had this option again, and we're going to confirm both. So you say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make this. So now they're already out there, and they're already on their hazy side. When you place another card out there of the same type, you're going to flip it over to the confirmed side. That means that these are permanent. Now each of these spaces you step on also has a bonus. So the steps space would allow you to move a space further. Maybe a play on words, maybe not, who knows. The mountain will allow you to see further. So normally in a space like this, let's just say, you can map this space, this space, this space, this space, and this space. Ignore it being empty for a minute. When you're on a mountaintop, you can then go 2 out from where you are. The trees only allow you to claim. We'll talk about claiming in just a minute. The lagoon allows you to take a card from the offer that's there, put it on the bottom of the deck, and draw a new one, helping you to kind of map this out. Because at the end of the game, your bonus cards here are not going to score based on the main board. They're going to score based on your map, as well as the scoring for things like, do you have correct places for what's out there? So if your map perfectly matches this, you're going to get 2 points per space. If your map doesn't perfectly match that, you're just not going to get points for the spaces that don't match. You're going to lose a point for any empty space, so it's going to kind of behoove you to not double up like I did here. You're also going to get your points for your gold cards that you're going to choose 2 over the beginning. Then you're going to get points for your claim. So the claim works like this. Instead of choosing to do the map action, you can claim. So on my turn, I can choose not to move, discard a card, and then put my claim token on an area. So this would be 2, 4, 6 points at the end of the game because it's 2 points per the claimed area. Now, Carla has one here that is 4 spaces big, so that's an 8-point bonus right there. And then lastly, you're going to score for full rows and columns that you have correct. Back to this, one more thing. No, I covered them all. That's all the different bonuses. That is how you play Maps of Misterra. It's a really interesting game, all about the mapping side of things, but also making sure you match what's out there and manipulating that if they're not set in stone yet and confirmed. So, Maps of Misterra.
All right, so as you know, we do a rubric here, not a Rubik. That's a different thing.
You're almost there.
But a rubric on how we grade our game. So today we're talking about concept, board layout, mechanics, art direction, art, which includes components as well, gameplay, and the rule book. All of these are important factors when it comes to me rating a game and me enjoying a game. So as we know, all reviews are subjective. So if you hear me say I like a game or don't like a game that you like or don't like, it's subjective. It's my opinion. So concept, 8.5. You're charting out a map. Not carting a map.
Bring out your dead!
Charting a map, which is great, right? It's something we don't get to do very often. And what I like about the concept is you may be wrong. You may be unsure about your mapping. You may just be lying. Terrible mapper. Like that mountain over there. It's real big. There's not a mountain. It's a valley. It's the ocean, right? So the concept's an 8.5. The board layout's a 9. Now here's why I give it a 9. First of all, I like the way that the main board is laid out, and I like the way your special other board is laid out, your parchment paper, and you have to turn it the same way as the board. Even though that gets confusing at times, and it shouldn't. I'm just dumb when it comes to that.
How dare you?
The mechanics are an 8. The mechanics are an 8. I like what you do. I like that you move, then you choose to chart a tile, or you choose to claim. Claiming is kind of a secondary option to me, although it's worth a lot of points, but the claiming is interesting, but the charting is interesting to me the most, because you could sit something out there and confirm it so that someone else can't take it and claim it. You could take it from someone, which is always great, right? A little cutthroat when it comes to those mappings. Mechanics an 8. Art direction is an 8 as well. Everything makes sense, right? The only thing I ding this for is there's actually no symbols on the items themselves, like the steps or the mountains or the valleys or the water or whatever, that shows what the special powers are. You just have to know them. Now, granted, they're very simple powers, right? And they're in the rule book, but I'd like it if there was like a little symbol on the map. But again, I guess they're trying to avoid that when it comes to, I don't know, the main board. But I guess you could put it on the map cards. I like those two-sided map cards as well. Art direction, that's an 8. Art is an 8.5. I like the components in this game. I like this game as if you walk past it at a table, you'd be like, oh, that looks pretty interesting. I like the way this looks. Really well made. The tiles are there. One ding I got to hit it for, even though it was corrected in the version I was sent. There's an errata to some of the cards. You just have to take out a few of the cards and insert these cards. Not a big deal. It doesn't really ding it for the score, but I just thought I'd mention it. In the version I got, it has been fixed. Gameplay is a 7.5. Now, why is it a 7.5 when everything else is higher? Well, it is a little simple in the sense that you're moving and then mapping, and sometimes you can get stuck. If someone lays a whole bunch of water around you, you can't really move and map. You can only move and claim, and you may not want to claim right there. So it kind of detracts there. But it is a quick-moving, fun game. It can last a little longer than it looks, though. The other thing I really like about the gameplay is the mapping of tiles just to make your stuff match your personal goals. I like that that's an option as well. You can be a terrible cartographer when it comes to reality, but when it comes to your personal goals in life, well, you might be the best. And the rulebook's an 8. I like the rulebook. It's very solid. Tells you what everything does. Tells you how to play really simply. Pretty straightforward. So all in all, that gives us a total of an 8 for this game. That's Maps of Misterra. Really interesting concept. I like what this does. It does something different. It's very light. You don't have to do any too majorly heavy thinking. You do need to think a turn or two ahead. And you need to be thinking, okay, how can I maximize my turn so that I can make my gold cards work, but also get the points for all the other things out there? And man, my map doesn't match the real reality, so I need to start working towards getting my map to match reality. The only other thing I'll ding it for is sometimes the cards can get a little shuffled up on your board, even though you're trying to keep them still, just because you have so many laced and latticed interlacing cards. But that is Maps of Misterra. I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow me on X and Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff at Dice Tower Bryan. Until next time, we'll see ya.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.